Good evening. Good evening, and welcome to the second of our four classes to do the copper rod exercises together. Very happy to see you. Very glad to spend this evening half hour with you. I hope you have all brought your rods with you. We have some new people with us this evening, and I hope that you have gotten rods already. Let me show you what a copper rod is just in case. So in Eurythmy, we use the copper rods for some of our basic warm-up exercises. They're good for so many things. They're good for exercises dealing with dyslexia. They're good for spatial orientation. They're very good for grounding. As you know, sometimes in Eurythmy, we're just moving with our arms and of course, moving our bodies. But with the copper rod exercises, we're practicing moving in with etheric intention while we're touching a copper rod. So that's just a word of welcome to the new people. You will receive a PDF after this class. And in the PDF, I explain a little bit more about the rod and tell you what size to get and how you can try to get one. And if you don't have a copper rod, once again, let me remind you, it is not nearly as good, but it's also possible to use a wooden dowel of the same length if you are just not able to get to a hardware store or someplace where they will make a copper rod for you. All right, let's remember, we do eurythmy to align ourselves with our deepest spiritual core. Eurythmy is based on an understanding of how body, soul, and spirit weave and interact in us to make us healthy, whole in our center. And so, as we begin our exercises tonight, I would like to begin by speaking the words of the Eurythmy meditation that Rudolf Steiner gave for us as eurythmists to work with. As I speak it to you, I'm going to be using my hands and pointing to my head and so on, but you need not do that. You can just feel the points in the space that I indicate. I seek within me creative forces working, creative powers living. The heavy weight of earth tells me through the word of my feet. The forming power of the air tells me through the singing of my hands. And the strength of heaven's light tells me through the thinking of my head how the great world in the human being speaks, sings, and thinks. Yes, all of these things are real. Through our legs, we're deeply connected to our will, to the earth, to the air. We're connected to the element of life all around us. And the great world is thinking through us when we are conscious. So with that as a beginning, let's start with the peace exercise again that we've been working with. Imagine high above your head are the stars in the sky. You let the light from those stars shine down into you. And if there were one star above you that is your special home star, you would stand very straight to align yourself with it. Let the light from that star shine down into your crown. Now imagine it flowing through the length of you and into the center of the earth. Feel yourself, a line of light connecting your star and the earth, and experience what nobility we can embody when we carry ourselves in consciousness of heaven and earth, standing straight. Now, millions of miles below the stars, thousands of miles above the center of the earth, is this realm of nature. And I invite you to spread your arms wide and feel your hearts open. Notice how now we have called upon up, down, right, and left, the directions in space. And now there's one more set of directions to pay attention to, front space and back space. What is the difference? We live automatically in the front space. Back space is like a hidden mystery for you. And I know again and again from myself and from everyone I work with, when we can access the backspace, when we remember that the place of our hidden resources, we become much healthier, stronger, freer. All right, you may drop your arms for a moment. And now let's feel that again, light above, earth below, your arms to the right and the left. And here you are in space. Now let's go into the different directions one time. And we go down towards the earth from where the body is built, up towards the light from where the spirit comes, and back to hold the balance in the middle. In front of you, the world of your everyday consciousness, and behind you, your invisible sources, stars and dreams. Now, very importantly, pull all of these directions together. Hold your hands in front of your heart and know I am a spiritual being. The whole world is growing me, changing me, ripening me. Everything that you experience is written on your heart. Drop your arms and feel again in touch with your heart center, with your star, and with the earth. And now imagine to yourself you're walking towards a beloved friend. And let your heart carry you towards that friend. And now you return to your own place. But as you walk back, can you sense where your wall is, where you came from? Again, walking forwards, leading with your heart and walking backwards, sensing that you can see the space behind you. Let's be aware that in everything we do, the feet carry the heart. It would be very different if in normal life we walk with the feet pushing our will full of desires and impulses. No, we're training ourselves to walk through the world following the heart. And now let the wisdom of your heart stream upwards towards the head so you feel how noble the capacity of thinking is. Hold your head as if it is crowned with stars, and let your feet below you become wise and talk to the earth. And all of that is only possible when you're centered in your heart. And so let's walk forwards again. Crown of stars above your head. Your feet telling a story to the earth, telling the story of what you are doing in your world, speaking to the ground. And now let's do the threefold walking that we've developed. And if you are new to the Eurythmy practice, just join us. Every step has got 3 parts to it. Lift and carry and place. We lift the foot, we carry it, and we place it. Every step has a circular story. Lift, carry, and place. And when I place my foot, I touch with the toes first and backwards. These 3 parts of every step are a part of the cycles of life: rising energy, sustaining energy, grounding energy. And I'll do that sideways for a few steps. Rising energy, sustaining, and grounding. Springtime and summer and fall. Through winter will rise to summer, spring, summer, and fall, and winter below. Thank you. Let's take our rods. And if you don't have a rod yet, not today, you can pretend as if you do. Hold the rod on your empty hands like this. And with your rods, we're going to make these little circles. Remember, the Eurythmy movement is smooth. I'm breathing. I'm not moving my shoulders much. I'm really just moving my arms. The most important thing, that I'm creating a harmonious circle. This harmonious circle matches the circling with my feet. Will you join me? We go. We lift the foot and the rod. We carry it and we place it. Lift, carry, and place. Lift, carry, and place. Lift, carry, and place. And now backwards. Lift the rod, carry, place, lift, carry, place, lift, carry, place, lift, carry, place. And again, feeling the light of the sun, radiance of the moon, splendor of fire, swiftness of wind. Let's go back. Depth of the sea, stability of the earth, firmness of rock. I bear these in me. Wonderful. All right. The threefold walking exercise is something that I recommend to everyone to calm yourself down. If you've been running through your days, if you don't feel that you're inwardly peaceful and steady, do this. Learn to center yourself. Remember, it's one of the first things that an infant learns. And now you do it so unconsciously and possibly full of a lot of habits. Learn to move in great peaceful consciousness with the threefold walking. Last week, then, we took the first and the last of the 4 basic rod exercises. Let's remember them. We start with the sevenfold exercise, holding the rod flat in front of the shoulders like this. And we're going to, so to speak, measure 7 positions in space, more precisely 4 positions. Yeah, that one would repeat some positions. Remember, you feel yourself as if you are in a box, and You begin by putting the rod below you. It's flat. This is called down. When I go down, I feel grounded. And then with my arms very parallel, I see I need to back up a step. With the arms very parallel, I hold the rod flat above me. And now I hold the rod in front of my right side. Take care, you must be doing it on your right side, not your left side. We've got the problem of mirroring with the computer screen. So right in front of my right side. And then I move it and put it right in front of my left side, back to the right side, above, below, and back in the middle. Again, down, up, right, left, right, above, below, in the middle, below, above, right, left, right, above, below, in the middle. What's very important here is precision. Do a really straight rod, straight, straight, up, down, and middle. I'm going to turn my back to you for a moment just to eliminate the possible problem of mirroring. Down, up, right, left, right, up, down, and middle, below, above, right, left, right, up, down, and middle. Again, precision is so important and it kind of clears the head. I sometimes call this my coffee exercise. When I do this in the morning, it really wakes me up. Let's take a step with each position. Lift, carry, and place. Lift, carry. And you arrange the timing of your foot to match the way that the movement unfolds and lands. Lift, carry, place. Lift, carry, place. Lift, carry, place, and back in the middle. I'm going to back all the way up and do that again. And I know it's a lot to move the hands and the feet in unison, and that's why we do it. And lift, carry, place. 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 Up and down and back in the middle. It's so helpful, among other things, helpful for people who are dyslexic, who don't feel their space so well, really helps with spatial orientation, or for people who are just kind of dreamy in their bodies. I'm going to show you another simple form to do with this. We're going to step in different directions in space for the different positions. Every time we put the rod down, we take a step forward, down, and put your feet together. Every time we put the rod up, we go backwards in this exercise. Up, feeling the back space. When we go to the right with the rod, we also step to the right. Right foot, feet together. And of course, now I'll step to the left. It's very good. You notice I'm back where I started. And now I go back to the right, position 5, straight back, straight forward, and then take one step to the left and return to your beginning position. Again, straight forward, down, straight back, up, to the right, to the left, to the right, up, feeling your back space, feeling your front space, back in the middle. Again, coming forward, following your heart, backwards into the invisible space. Everything on your right, feel your left side, feel your right side, feel back, light field, forwards and grounded, back in the middle. Once more, down, up, right, left, right, up, down, and back in the middle. And rest. Thank you. Now, last week, we also learned the last of the 4 exercises. To remind you, this first exercise we did with its geometrical precision is very important for the physical precision, exactitude. But the second exercise, the fourth one, the one we're going to do now, is good for feeling front and back space, up and down, very strengthening for the ego. So we begin with the rod low, make this wonderful arc in front of us, up over the head, and then behind us. Feeling the space behind you. Can you feel where the rod is? You're going to drop it and catch it like this. The hands are right there to catch it. Now you bring it around your left side and repeat, making a wonderful, generous movement around you in the front space. Inwardly see where it is, drop it, finding yourself in your back space and take it around. Remember what I said of the difference of front space and back space. Front space is easy. Back space is mystery, magic, resources, power. Front space. Be sure to do this front space elegantly, beautifully. Now you're in that mysterious back space. Can you master it? Can you feel that? Again, up and around and catch. If you're ready, please take a few steps with me. A few steps forward, round behind you, drop and catch and go backwards. Again, forwards and around, drop and catch and go back. Again, forward and around, drop and catch and go back. If you would really like to play a little bit more with this, sometimes I do a little curve when I drop and catch. And I go backwards. I'm across the room from where I started. And then again, do this, make a little curve like a spiral, drop and catch, and go back. I'll do that one more time. I choose to go to the right. I could go to the left. Drop and catch and go back. Looking across from where I had been and around, drop and go back. Yes, that's one that's very much loved to do in a class because then I have people who stand across from each other and spiral around each other. It's a lot of fun. All right. We're going to go now in the few minutes remaining to the so-called second exercise, which strengthens the etheric body. It does so by working with up and down in a very gentle exercise. First up and down in front of the body, and then behind your back. And as it goes up, as you lift the rod and then let it sink, you practice feeling lighter in your weight and then heavier. Something like being in water, which lifts you and sinks. So we have a little bit of a tricky movement to teach you. If you're new to this, you'll have to pay some good attention. If you know it, you'll go along with me quite quickly. Notice how my hands are held. Got my hands in front of the rod, and now I'm going to put the rod on my thumb. Can you do that? Okay. That's our beginning position. I'm going to lift the rod, feeling, as I said, as if the water is rising, and then let the rod sink. Again, up and down, up. When I catch it down here, I've got it in all of my fingers. And I pop it up on my thumbs and let it fall. That is done to the count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll take the rod around in the back and we'll do the exact complement of that behind us. This time, look how my hands are. My hands are facing forward when the rod is back here. So I'm going to pop the rod up here. You see where it is? And I feel lighter here. 1, 2, 3. I drop it, feeling heavier, and hold it down there. Again, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And inwardly, you're feeling lighter and heavier, lighter and heavier. Got it? Okay. So now we just have to practice the transition, moving the rod from front to back and from back to front. Show you. We start with count number 1. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm heavier. 4. And while it's heavy, I'm going to take the rod behind me. Notice what I have to do with this hand. I am going to catch this rod with my hand forwards and then turn that hand around. So both hands are switched. Now I pop the rod up, feeling as if the water has risen. 7, 8, 9, touch the rod deep. 10, and now on 11 and 12, I take the rod around to the front and I place the hands like this with my thumbs ready to catch it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn your hand. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll do it 7 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. For those of you who are ready, we'll do it 4 more times and we'll take a few steps. When I lift the rod, I go forward. 1, 2, 3. Now I stand still. 4, 5, 6. Now I walk back. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take it around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let this help you to breathe. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Thank you. How does that feel in your body? The body learns to think. This is a kind of training to Bring this etheric flow and the spatial orientation into your body so that it can move quickly and fluidly through all these different tasks all the time while you're practicing being in your heart center. Once again, let me speak the verse. I seek within me creative forces working, creative powers living. The heavy weight of earth tells me through the speaking of my feet. The forming power of the air tells me through the singing of my hands. And the strength of heaven's light tells me through the thinking of my head how the great world in the human being seeks, sings, and thinks. As you stand here, know yourself to be sacred, precious. Thank you. I have a couple of announcements as we draw this to a close now. One is that for many, many weeks, even months, Michelle and I have been aware that my sound system leaves much to be desired. So we have been looking for a solution. And next week, I will appear with probably an excellent sound system, I'm hoping. So we'll look forward to that. Also, next week, I'm going to start a new morning class of Eurythmy, a new 7-session series to study the vowels and the planets in Eurythmy. This is really advanced work, really only appropriate for people who know a little bit about how the vowels are in Eurythmy. But I will send out an invitation to all of you in a couple of days. Look for it. And if you're interested in joining, it's okay, but we'll be going a little bit fast in this. It'll be a very, very special class. And I would close the registration for that class after the second session. So if you're interested, be sure to sign up right away. You may look for the recording of this class later on this evening. I'll be typing it up and sending it out. And also you will once again receive the link to the PDF, the document that describes all of these exercises. I do hope you'll practice. That's what will make this into a fruitful experience for you. Even I, who've spent my life doing Eurythmy, I do these ride exercises daily. They give me so much. So with that, I will ask Michelle if there are any questions to bring to me.
Yes, there is one question from Cindy, and she said, my guess is that it has to do with body awareness, but why can't we use mirrors?
Because I think body awareness is a really good way to describe it. I want you to feel yourself inside yourself. We're awakening the proprioceptive and the kinesthetic senses. And if you're doing a mirror, you're just looking at your reflection and using your eyes it's like stepping outside of yourself. I want you to go deeper into yourself.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. So is that all?
That is it. And I will save the chat so you can read the comments.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you next week, hopefully with a better sound system. Thank you.